what was it like for your mother to grow up poverty-stricken in eastern Arkansas working in the cotton fields?
Well, I write about this in some detail in the book, but my mother lived a journey that a lot of people, I think, today don't fully comprehend in this period before, or even before the Great Depression, but before we began to change the dynamic in the American South. She was one of 8 children in East Arkansas. Her father was a sharecropper. Of the 8 children, 3 of them died in childhood, not childbirth, childhood, including one who died of typhoid fever. Her father died when she was 10 years old. And my grandmother, as I said, is one of my heroes. After a couple of years struggling, when my grandfather passed away, first found a job in an artillery factory in North Little Rock making artillery shells. And then got enough money that she took the chance and went off to California. But she had to make something of a Sophie's choice. She had 2 children left with her at home, my mother and her younger sister. And so my grandmother took my Aunt Carolyn, her younger sister, with her, left my mom in Arkansas with an aunt. And Granny went out and became Rosie the Ripper. She was 4 feet 11. She had arms like Popeye from working in the cotton fields all those years. And she was up, because of her size, she was up in the nose cones of these bombers, bolting up the, riveting in the nose cones of the bombers. And so after my dad went back into the military, he was demobilized at the end of World War II because he didn't have a college education. But when he was brought back in, my grandmother came and lived with us from the time I was 2 to the time I was 8.
Talking about your dad, why was he your lifetime hero, and how did his roots growing up in Appalachia and being the first Webb to graduate high school affect you?
My dad was a great role model. He's the only member of our family who ever served as a career military person. Our family has a military tradition. When there's a war, we go, just as in Iraq. My son left Penn State, enlisted in the Marine Corps, and served as a rifleman in Ramadi with the 1st Battalion, 6th Marines during some of the worst fighting in Iraq. But my dad, we all learned things at the dinner table, family discussions at the dinner table. My dad, from the time I was little, when we were at the dinner table, he would talk about leadership. How do you lead people? How do you motivate them? How do you take care of them? What are your obligations if you are above them? What are your obligations to the people who are above you? And he taught us that there was no greater honor for someone in this country than to serve your country. And that really sustained us also during his deployments. And he was, he was one of my great friends, in addition to being the person who I think taught me more about leadership than anyone during my development.